Hey, what's up, metal and heavy music fans? It's Flight of Icarus again with MetalTrenches.com, and today we're talking about crazy jazz-infused mathcore and progressive music from Toronto, Ontario project Autocatalytica and their new album Power Clashing Maximalism. And hey, if you'd like to be kept up to date with the best and brightest metal bands and albums from the underground and above, then stick with me by hitting that subscribe button down below. Virtually everything you need to know about this band is contained within opening track Borndom. It opens with some very car bomb riffs, even doing the whole djent overlapped with crazy jazz soloing Meshuggah thing. Then the verse kicks in and it reminds me of listening to early 2000s Soilwork from Natural Born Chaos or Figure Number 5.
Beware of the rising tide before your bloodshed into awaken.
Then back into the Meshuggah sound, this time even with the syncopated death vocals alongside the riffs, only to make a very sudden transition into a more transcendent melodic chorus with clean singing. There's also a more chill interlude and several more ups and downs, but we'll spend all day at this rate just talking about this opening track. Zippler keeps the energy on a high note, but shifting into more of a traditional mathcore Fall of Troy sounding intro with plenty of dizzying, shimmering technical guitars and falsetto vocals. That is before going full-on Protest the Hero with one of the most infectious and uplifting choruses I think I've heard in 2020. Absolutely stunning. Those angelic backing chorals and lofty melodies take me to heaven right before we take an absolute swan dive right back into djenty hell. This is what I've loved about Autocatalytica since I caught wind of their last album Vicissitudes a few years back. You can never predict where they're going to go next. In an absolute sea of predictable by-the-numbers music out there, this is one of those bands that dares to shake things up whether you like it or not. And being real, not even I love every single twist and turn of Power Clashing Maximalism, but goddammit, do I respect it.
While I may not agree with what you say, I'll defend to the death your right to say it.
Even when things get a little too eccentric, as with the jazzier, proggier sections with the Hammond organ on Trash Serum, I always know there's some exciting new surprise waiting just around the corner. This is music that commands your attention and seems intent on challenging the listener as opposed to spoon-feeding the same old comfort food you've tasted 1,000 times before. And for that reason, I encourage you to fight through any initial discomfort and give this a few spins before you decide whether or not it's truly for you. Either way, at the very least, you're going to walk away with some truly stunning musicianship that I defy you to not at least have some feels about. And while some of this incessant guitar noodling may come off as pretentious or overly artsy at times, Autocatalytica also recognized the power and importance of a simple hook. For this reason, Dukka Dukka is another standout with its irresistible head-bobbing grooves to keep the listener grounded amidst the loftier songwriting ambitions. Likewise, if you do love variety and complexities in your music, there's plenty more to enjoy, from acoustic guitar medleys to almost Sade-esque smooth jazz. In the end, I do realize that this album is not going to be for everyone, especially considering the much heavier stuff I tend to focus on with this channel. That said, I've always considered one of my key purposes to expand your horizons and expose you to new and interesting acts from the underground that you'll at least give a chance to, even if you ultimately decide that you're just not into it. I give Power Clashing Maximalism an 8 for enjoyability. Again, I recognize that its eccentricities don't always make for the most replayable experience. This isn't Die Hard after all, it's more of a Mulholland Drive. I give it a 10 for musicianship. From the clever arrangements to the performances themselves, every instrument is giving 110% on every single song. And I give it an 8 for innovation. It's not something I've never heard before, but it's certainly one of the more unique experiences I've had in 2020. Put together, this feels like a very solid B+ for Autocatalytica and Power Clashing Maximalism. Y'all, thanks as always for watching, and let me know down in the comments what you thought of this album, if you checked it out, and especially if you ended up buying it. That is my favorite thing to hear, that you went straight from a review that I provided and decided it was worth your hard-earned money. Also, stick around because there's plenty more reviews coming right after this one, and in addition to that, also tier list, Bandcamp exploration, interviews with bands on the podcast, you name it, we've got it, so plenty of reasons to subscribe if you have not already. Also in the description, you can find links to our social media, the email newsletter, and our Patreon and Subscribe Star if you want to make that extra jump to becoming a full-on supporter. Even just $1 a month helps support the channel and gets you access to early content. But that'll do it for now. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.